why I think people quit. Digital nomad lifestyle is not for everyone, and the more I live it, the more I see it. It's been almost exactly 11 years since we with Una started our digital nomad journey. Only back then in 2013 we were not thinking that we are starting a digital nomad journey. We were thinking that we are going on a long trip to India with no end. But yeah, to be honest with you guys, I was secretly hoping that it may turn out to be a start of a digital nomad journey, but I didn't know such a term. I didn't know a single digital nomad at that time. But at the same time, I knew of people who were freelancers, working for themselves. And so I was thinking that it would be a very cool thing for us with Una also do something similar and maybe travel while doing that, like working remotely. I was thinking about that even before I knew of anyone doing something similar. And now we are doing that and have been doing that for years, but many people quit. And in this video I want to talk about 3 things why I think people quit. But before I go to that, let's start by talking a little bit about the beginnings, about how we started being digital nomads. We started by blogging, and we saw many people doing the same thing, starting their blogs, trying to work with brands, working with brands, doing some freelance writing, writing for newspapers, writing for online portals, earning money in that way. Then at around 2016, 2017, many started doing SEO because bloggers realized that they could make their blogs more popular, reach more people if they started doing SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's about all you do with your website to make it found on Google. The better positions, the higher, the better. So people started doing that, but still I was seeing that people were quitting. People were doing nomading, blogging, travel influencing, but also quitting after some time. The big thing was the pandemic, because it changed a lot, like really a lot. I remember year around 2022, so 2 years after the beginning of the pandemic, looking on the Instagram and thinking, wow, there are so few people still doing the thing. It was super few people if you compare it to what was the scene just a few years earlier. I actually couldn't believe that so many people had stopped traveling, but I realized that yeah, that has happened, and most likely because of the reason number 1. You have to really love to travel. To do it long term, to do it sustainably, you have to really love to travel. You have to enjoy it. Most of people would like to go on a trip for a week or 2. Many, quite many, would go on a trip also for a month or 2, but there are very few who are fine with doing that for years. And that's what we saw during the pandemic. When brands stopped working with travel influencers, when countries weren't inviting people to promote them on social media, people stopped traveling because it wasn't really a thing they wanted to do. They were doing that because of the money. But when it came to simply traveling, to doing that for themselves, it turned out that people weren't really doing that. The same people that were promoting destinations and brands, travel brands, stopped traveling because it wasn't a thing for them anymore. So yeah, you have to love it. For example, even these like 11, 12 years later, when it comes to traveling, it's 12 years, I still love it. I'm the same as excited as I was in 2013 or 2012. I'm not as scared as I was in 2012 or 2013 when not knowing some things, but I'm as same as excited. For example, this summer when I was traveling from Thailand to Europe and I stopped in Bulgaria and made the decision to, hey, what about traveling overland from Bulgaria to Latvia? Yeah, I thought, and I did it. I was fine with that, with this struggle of traveling over land. It was exciting for me, and so I was doing that. If you want to be a digital nomad long term, you have to love travel. It's super simple. Thing number 2, you have to be fine with the digital nomad lifestyle downsides. There are some very big ones as well. For example, digital nomad loneliness is a very big thing. You are being away, you are constantly traveling, you are constantly not in your home country. That's a very big thing. You are missing out on people, missing out on special occasions. It's a big thing, and you have to be fine with that, because if you are not, this lifestyle is not for you. Second big thing, second big downside of digital nomad lifestyle is the uncertainty, especially at the very beginning when you're only starting out. Finding the ways to earn money while traveling, finding the ways to do these things, to combine these things, the travel and the work, and not go crazy. Third thing, being okay with the fact that there will be situations when you will not have anyone close to you to ask for opinion, because you see, there will be situations when opinion of your closest people won't be really relevant, because they won't be able to relate to you and your situation. Luckily for us, in this time, there are other people on the internet. You can ask other people on the internet, you can connect with strangers and find out their opinion on those situations, on those problems. But you have to be fine with that, that you won't be able to just ask your friends from back home, because they just won't know how to answer that. They won't be able to relate to you. You have to love to travel, you have to be okay with all the digital nomad lifestyle downsides, and you have to also change. You will have to change. And the sooner you realize it, the better. That's what we have seen in our experience as well. The sooner you start to treat travel as a part of your life, not as a vacation, the better for you. For example, for us that meant paying a big attention to food, because we are not on a vacation, we are not sampling and trying all the food all the time. We are living, this is our life. Being in Thailand is our life. Being in Japan is a part of our life. Second thing is a routine, to do it consistently, to be good at work and also at travel and not go crazy. You have to have a routine, and the better is your routine, the more time you actually have, because you also are planning the time off, you are planning also traveling. Third thing, sport, being active, doing some exercise. It's also a very important thing. One of the ways how we get enough of exercise is that we always walk. Whenever we feel like walking, we are walking, and this way we get some exercise just by doing our everyday things. And the second thing is that we are going also to the gym at least twice a week, or if we are staying somewhere longer, then 3 times a week. That's what works the best for us. And the last thing, the fourth thing that's also very important when it comes to lifestyle is sleep. The better you sleep, the better you live. For example, I know right now that I need something like 8 or 8.5 hours of sleep. So we are going to sleep at around 10. I'm going to sleep at around like 9:30, waking up at around 6. For the longest time, we were thinking that we are not those people who are going to sleep so early and wake up so early. For the longest time, we thought that it's crazy to wake up before like 8. But turns out that we were wrong. We were trying to get into that routine of waking up earlier for quite some time and were always failing. But then I came back from Pakistan. It was 2021, the end of 2021. I had just read the 5 a.m. club book, and I came to Latvia. I said, Tuna, I'm starting to wake up early. I don't know, I still don't know how, but it worked, and we started waking up earlier. There were times when I was waking up at around like 5:30, a little bit before 5, but now for the last year, could be a year or so, we have realized that the 10 p.m., 6 a.m. works better for us and we are feeling great. And speaking of both of those things, actually, of the walking, the exercise part, and the sleep, it almost feels like a superpower when you can easily walk 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 kilometers. It feels great knowing that, okay, so there is no, I don't know, a taxi or bus to that place. Yeah, we can walk. Or so that flight is at around like 7, leaving 7, so you have to be at the airport at 5, so we have to wake up at around 4. It's fine, because if you are waking up daily at around 6, waking up at around 4, it's not a big deal. It feels like a superpower. Yeah, so to sum it up, you will have to change your lifestyle to be a digital nomad long term. To do it long term, to enjoy it, you will have to change your lifestyle, most likely, unless you are doing these things this way already. One thing, for example, that we have started doing recently, a lifestyle related thing, is that we have started not to take flights too late at night when possible, not to take flights also on working days, so it doesn't really affect our everyday. When you think of it, it's super simple. The more you take care of yourself, the more you enjoy it. At least it works for us. Remember, you are a nomad, and travel for you isn't just a holiday, it's your life. That's it for today. See you soon.